The Galactic Council chamber was built to show power. The walls were tall and dark, shaped from metal older than most star systems. Floating lights moved slowly above a wide circular floor. From here, the leaders of many worlds watched wars as if they were games. Today they watched Earth. At the center of the chamber, a large star map showed the blue world of humans. Red markers surrounded it, each one an Empire warship. There were thousands of them. The Empire had never lost a fleet. Not once. Many council members felt relaxed. Some talked quietly. Others watched with bored eyes. "This is taking longer than expected," one council elder said. His voice was calm. "Humans should have surrendered by now." "They are stubborn," another replied, "but weak. Their planet is loud, divided, and slow." A few observers from smaller species sat silently. They had seen what the Empire did to worlds that resisted. Cities burned. Moons cracked. Life erased. Earth was next. On Earth, far from the Council's cold room, the mood was very different. In a deep command center under layers of rock and steel, Commander J stood still in front of a large screen. He was not tall, and his face showed no anger, only focus. Around him, officers worked in silence. No shouting, no panic. Hannah sat at a control station to his left. Her hands moved fast, but her face stayed calm. She checked signals from fleets hidden across the solar system. "All units are in position," she said. Her voice was steady. Jay nodded once. "Keep it quiet." "Yes, Commander." On another level of the base, Captain Day watched tactical feeds. Human ships were not grouped in one place. They were spread out. Some were far beyond the edge of the system. Others drifted near empty space, looking like debris. To the Empire sensors, they were nothing. Day turned to Mira, a young officer standing beside him. "Any movement from the Empire?" "They are forming for orbital strike," Mira answered. "They think we cannot see them." Day allowed himself a small breath. "Let them think that." Back in the Galactic Council, alarms softly chimed. A technician frowned. "Some of our forward sensors are not responding." "That is normal," an Empire general said. He wore gold armor and showed no concern. "Human interference. Primitive tricks." The Council watched as the Empire fleet moved closer to Earth. Massive ships lined up in perfect order. Their weapons charged, glowing with power. One volley would end the war. "Send them a final warning," the general said. "For the record." A message was sent to Earth. Loud, threatening, full of demands. In the human command center, the message appeared on screens. No one reacted. Jay read it once. Then he looked at Hannah. "Reply." Hannah hesitated. "What should I say?" Jay thought for a moment. "Say this: we have heard you. Nothing more." The message went out. In the council chamber, laughter followed. "That is all?" Someone mocked. "They sound afraid." The Empire general smiled. "Begin the attack." But something strange happened. The first Empire ships did not fire. Instead, their systems flickered. Navigation data twisted. Communications filled with static. "What is happening?" the technician asked. "Fix it," the general snapped. On Earth, Day watched the same moment from another view. "Phase 1 complete," he said quietly. Mira looked at him. "They still don't see us." "No," Day said. "They see ghosts." Across space, human warships adjusted position. They moved without engines, without heat. They used methods learned through long years of being alone, watched, and underestimated. In the council chamber, confusion spread. "We are losing contact with the outer line," the technician said. "That is impossible," the general replied. "They haven't fired a single shot." The council elder leaned forward. "Then where are the ships going?" No one answered. On Earth, Jay walked slowly across the command floor. He stopped beside Sue, a communications officer. "Are all civilian shelters sealed?" Jay asked. "Yes," Sue replied. "Every major city. Power grids stabilized." Jay nodded. "Good." Hannah looked up. "Commander, the Empire fleet is fully committed now. No retreat pattern detected. Jay allowed himself a thin smile. They believe this is already over. In the council chamber, the first Empire ship vanished. Not exploded. Not damaged. Gone. The red marker on the star map simply disappeared. Silence filled the room. A sensor error? Someone whispered. Before an answer came, another marker vanished. Then another. The technician's hands shook. We are losing ships. No debris. No signals. The Empire general stood up. This is impossible. On Earth, Day watched the countdown begin on his screen. 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Hold, Jay said calmly. No early strikes. Mira frowned. Sir, they are already losing ships. Yes, Jay replied. But they still do not understand why. In space, Empire commanders shouted orders that no longer worked. Their fleets were designed to crush resistance, not to face an enemy that refused to fight by known rules. Back in the council chamber, fear crept in. This is not human technology, one council member said. They cannot do this. The elder's voice was low. Then perhaps we never understood humans at all. On Earth, Jay stood straight as the clock continued to fall. This is not revenge, he said quietly, to no one in particular. This is defense. Above the planet, unseen and unheard, humanity waited, and the galaxy watched, unaware that the next 14 minutes would change everything forever. The space around Earth looked quiet, almost empty. To the Empire fleet, it felt safe. Their ships moved forward in wide lines, slow and proud. Huge engines burned bright, lighting the dark like moving stars. They believed nothing could stop them. Inside the Empire command ships, officers waited for orders. Some watched Earth on screens. Blue oceans, white clouds, a fragile world. They still haven't fired, one officer said. Humans show no response. Of course not, another replied. They are afraid. The Empire fleet continued its advance. Far below, deep under Earth's surface, the human command center remained calm. Lights were low. Voices were quiet. Every movement had purpose. Commander Jay stood with his hands behind his back. He watched a wide tactical display. Empire ships filled the outer space around Earth like a red storm. They are fully committed now, Hannah said. She adjusted her console and checked signal paths. No sign of retreat. That is expected, Jay replied. They never plan for failure. Captain Day joined them from another station. His face was serious but steady. All shadow fleets are ready. No detection so far. Jay nodded. Good. Keep all movement below threshold. Across the system, human warships waited in silence. Some were hidden near cold asteroids. Others drifted far beyond normal patrol routes. Their hulls absorbed light. Their systems produced almost no signal. To Empire sensors, they did not exist. Mira monitored long-range scans. Empire scouts are confused, she said. They are sending reports of missing data. Not losses. Just nothing. Day allowed a small smile. They are seeing the gaps. On the Galactic Council world, the chamber was less relaxed now. Voices were louder. Council members leaned forward in their seats. We have lost contact with 30 outer ships, a technician said. No damage reports. No distress calls. The Empire general crossed his arms. It is interference. Humans are trying to hide. Hide what? A council member asked. We see no weapons fire. The general did not answer. Back on Earth, Sue checked internal systems. Civilian networks are stable, she said. Shelters remain sealed. Jay looked at the countdown clock on the main screen. 12 minutes remained. Everything is ready, Hannah said quietly. Jay took a slow breath. Then we wait. In space, Empire ships moved into attack position. Massive cannons rotated toward Earth. Energy built along their sides. Prepare orbital strike, an Empire commander ordered. But the order did not reach every ship. Signals delayed, then broke. What is wrong with communications? An officer asked. Multiple relays are offline, another replied. We don't know why. At the same moment, human fleets shifted. No engines flared. No alarms sounded. They simply changed position. Captain Day watched as dozens of blue icons moved at once. Phase 2 alignment complete, he said. Mira glanced at the timer. 11 minutes. On the Council world, tension thickened. Empire fleet formation is breaking, the technician said. Not by attack, by confusion. The Elder's voice was sharp. How can that happen without enemy fire? Silence followed. In the Empire command ship, officers argued. Our targeting systems won't lock, one said. Reset them, the commander snapped. We have. 3 times. The commander turned pale. Then what are we fighting? On Earth, Jay spoke softly. They are looking for a threat they understand. Hannah nodded. And we are not giving them one. Across space, small Empire escort ships vanished one by one. Still no explosions. No signs of battle. Just absence. On the Galactic Council map, red markers faded. This is no longer normal, a council member whispered. The Empire general's confidence cracked. Deploy inner defenses. Pull ships closer. That will expose command vessels, the technician warned. Do it, the general ordered. Human sensors picked up the change instantly. They are tightening formation, Mira said. Day leaned forward. They are scared now. Jay looked at the timer. 9 minutes. Hold, he said again. In the deep dark of space, human warships finished aligning. Their weapons were not loud, not bright. They were designed to end fights before they began. On the Empire flagship, alarms finally screamed. We are under attack, an officer shouted. From where? The commander demanded. We don't know. A nearby ship disappeared from the screen. The commander stared in horror. That was a capital ship. On the Council world, panic spread openly. They are losing ships too fast, someone shouted. This is not a battle. The Elder stood slowly. Then we have made a terrible mistake. On Earth, Jay straightened. Begin final authorization, he said. Hannah's fingers hovered above her console. Once we cross this line, there is no turning back. Jay met her eyes. They crossed it when they came here. She nodded and confirmed the command. Across the system, human fleets received the signal. Weapons unlocked. Targets confirmed. Captain Day exhaled slowly. All units ready. The countdown clock reached 8 minutes. In the Empire fleet, chaos ruled. Orders overlapped. Systems failed. Ships collided as formations broke apart. This is impossible, an Empire officer cried. Humans cannot fight like this. But they were. From the darkness, humanity prepared to strike. And the galaxy, watching in fear, was about to learn how wrong it had been. The moment came without warning. Across space, human warships unlocked their weapons at the same time. No loud signals followed. No bright flashes. The strike began in silence. On Earth, Commander Jay stood still as the main screen changed. Blue markers shifted, then turned sharp and steady. Targets were marked, not by size, but by importance. Confirmed, Hannah said. All fleets are synchronized. The countdown clock showed 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Jay nodded once. Proceed. Far above Earth, the first Empire command ship vanished. Inside that ship, officers never saw the attack. One moment they were shouting orders. The next, their power core folded in on itself. The ship collapsed into nothing, leaving no debris, no fire, no sound. Empire sensors screamed across the fleet. We lost the command ship, an officer cried. From where? Another shouted. There is no source. More ships disappeared. Human warships moved again. They did not chase targets. They did not surround fleets. They struck the center of control, cutting the Empire apart piece by piece. Captain Day watched the battle unfold on his screen. His face stayed calm, but his eyes were sharp. Fleet coordination is breaking, he said. They cannot talk to each other. Mira leaned closer to her station. Empire targeting systems are failing across all lines. That was the goal, Day replied. On the Galactic Council world, Chaos filled the chamber. Red markers vanished faster now. Entire sections of the map went dark. "This is not possible," a council member shouted. "Humans cannot destroy fleets this fast." The technician's voice shook. "Losses exceed 30%. No confirmed enemy positions." The Empire general's face turned pale. "Deploy counterattack formations. Fire in all directions." Empire ships obeyed. Massive weapons fired into empty space. Bright beams cut through darkness, hitting nothing. They were fighting ghosts. Back on Earth, Sue watched energy levels rise and fall. "Civilian systems holding steady," she reported. "No impact detected on the planet." Jay allowed a quiet breath. "Good." Hannah checked new data. "Enemy fleets are panicking. Retreat orders are spreading." Jay's voice remained calm. "They will try to escape." In space, Empire captains realized the truth too late. Their fleet was blind. Their enemy was everywhere and nowhere. "Pull back!" an Empire commander shouted. "Jump out now!" But space twisted. Human weapons struck jump drives before they could activate. Ships froze in place, helpless. On Captain Day's screen, blue indicators flashed. "Interdiction complete," Mira said. "No Empire vessel can leave." Day nodded. "Then it ends here." Human warships revealed themselves for the first time. They did not come forward in a line. They appeared above, below, and between Empire ships. Small, medium, large. Thousands of them. Empire crews stared in shock. "They were here the whole time," one officer whispered. "Yes," his commander replied, voice hollow. "And we never saw them." The attacks grew faster. Human fleets worked like a machine. Each strike was clean. Each target chosen with care. No wasted fire. No rage. On the Galactic Council map, the Empire fleet shrank. "This is slaughter," a council member said softly. The elder stood, his voice heavy. "No, this is punishment." On Earth, Jay watched the timer. 5 minutes remained. "Losses?" Hannah asked. "Minimal," Day replied. "No human ships destroyed." Mira looked up in disbelief. "Not one. Not one," Day confirmed. In space, Empire officers begged for orders that no longer mattered. "Our shields are useless. Our weapons won't lock. We are dying out here." A final command ship tried to broadcast surrender. The signal reached Earth. Hannah turned to Jay. "They are asking to stop." Jay watched the data. He saw Earth cities, human shelters, children asleep underground, unaware of how close the galaxy came to ending them. "They came with a fleet," he said quietly. "Not with words." He looked at the clock. "For minutes." "Continue," he ordered. Human strikes intensified. Empire carriers disappeared in waves. Escort ships followed. The once proud fleet broke apart, leaving only scattered wrecks and empty space. On the Council world, panic turned to fear. "If humans can do this," a council member whispered, "then no one is safe." The technician swallowed hard. "Empire losses exceed 60%. The Empire general sank back into his seat. "We have lost." Back in space, one Empire ship managed a partial jump. Its hull tore apart as it fled, vanishing into the dark. Day saw it and shook his head. "Let it go." Mira frowned. "Should we pursue?" "No," Day replied. "The message is already sent." On Earth, Jay closed his eyes for a brief moment. "Prepare final phase." Hannah nodded. "All fleets standing by." The countdown reached 3 minutes. In the broken remains of the Empire fleet, silence replaced chaos. Ships drifted without power. Crews waited for the end. On the Galactic Council world, the Elder spoke, his voice filled with dread. "The humans are not fighting for conquest," he said. "They are fighting to make sure no one ever tries this again." In the dark of space, humanity stood ready. And the galaxy finally understood what it meant to awaken a world that only wanted to be left alone. Space no longer looked calm. It looked empty and broken. Where the Empire fleet once filled the dark with light and motion, there were now gaps. Ships drifted without power. Others were simply gone. Silence spread between the stars. On Earth, Commander J watched the final data streams. His posture was steady, but the room felt heavy. Every officer knew they were witnessing the end of something that had ruled the galaxy for ages. Hannah adjusted her display. Empire command structure has collapsed, she said. No clear chain of control remains. Captain Day stood beside her. They are trying to regroup, he added. Small groups only. No coordination. Jay nodded. Then they will fail. The countdown clock showed 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Across space, human warships moved again. This time, they were visible. Not all at once, but enough to be seen. Their shapes were simple. Their lines were clean. They did not look like symbols of power. They looked like tools. Empire crews stared at them through broken sensors. We cannot fight them, one Empire officer said, his voice low. We never could. Some Empire ships tried to flee without orders. Engines burned hard. Jump drives screamed. Human systems responded at once. Interdiction fields closed. Space tightened. The fleeing ships slowed, then stopped. On the Galactic Council world, the chamber was filled with fear. Council members no longer sat. Many stood. Some shouted. Others could not speak at all. They are trapping them, a technician whispered. Every escape route. The elder's face was pale. This is the end of the Empire fleet. An advisor shook his head. In minutes. Back in space, human strikes continued with cold precision. Weapons fired without sound. Empire ships vanished without fire. Each loss was final. On Earth, Sue checked planetary systems again. No damage to Earth, she said. All impact risk is gone. Jay closed his eyes for a brief moment. Then he opened them. Good. Hannah looked at him. They are broadcasting again. Show me, Jay replied. A wide transmission filled the screen. An Empire commander appeared, his uniform torn, his voice shaking. We surrender, he said. We withdraw all claims. We ask for mercy. The room stayed silent. Captain Day looked at Jay. Orders. Jay did not answer at once. He watched the man on the screen. He thought of Earth's history, of threats ignored, of warnings laughed at. They did not come to talk, Jay said at last. They came to erase us. He turned away from the screen. End the fleet. The transmission cut. In space, the final phase began. Human warships targeted the remaining core vessels. These ships held the Empire's last control systems, its last symbols of rule. One by one, they vanished. On the Galactic Council map, the last red clusters faded. A technician stared at the screen. Empire fleet strength is now below 10%. The elder whispered, there will be nothing left. Back on Earth, the countdown reached 1 minute. Captain Day spoke softly. They are breaking apart. No resistance. Mira, standing at a side console, swallowed. I never thought a war could end like this. Day glanced at her. This is how humans fight when survival is the goal. In space, Empire crews abandoned hope. Some shut down systems. Others waited in silence. A few cried. Many simply stared into the dark. Human fleets showed no emotion. They completed the task. On the Council world, an alarm sounded. A new report appeared. Final Empire flagship destroyed, the technician said. His voice cracked. Confirmed. No remaining command vessels. The chamber fell silent. The elder closed his eyes. The Empire is gone. On Earth, the countdown clock reached 0. 14 minutes. Commander J exhaled slowly. Cease all offensive actions, he ordered. Hold position. Across space, human fleets obeyed. Weapons powered down. Movement slowed. Silence returned. Hannah leaned back slightly. It's over. Yes, Jay said. For now. Captain Day studied the remaining Empire ships. Broken. Drifting. Helpless. What about the survivors? He asked. Jay considered this. They will be escorted out of the system. Disarmed. Alive. Mira looked surprised. After everything they did? Jay met her eyes. We are not here to rule the galaxy. We are here to protect Earth. In the Galactic Council chamber, the elder addressed the room. Record this moment, he said. Let every world know what happened here. A council member asked quietly, "What do we say about humans?" The elder paused. "Say the truth, that we judged them by our standards, and paid the price." On Earth, systems returned to normal levels. Cities slowly emerged from shelters. People looked at the sky, unaware of how close the end had been. Sue watched the feeds. "They will never know how fast it ended," she said. Jay nodded. "That is fine." In space, the last Empire ships were guided away from Earth's orbit. No pursuit followed. No threat was spoken. The galaxy watched in silence. An ancient power had fallen in minutes, and in its place stood a quiet world that had simply refused to die. The galaxy did not celebrate. It stayed quiet. After the Empire fleet vanished, space felt different. Trade routes closed. Patrols stopped. Old borders no longer mattered. Worlds that once feared the Empire now feared the unknown. On the Galactic Council world, the chamber was full, but no one spoke. The great screens showed empty star maps. Where the Empire fleet once stood, there was nothing. The elder rose slowly. His voice was tired. "The Empire is gone," he said. "Not weakened, not defeated. Gone." A council member asked, "What do we do now?" No one answered. Far away on Earth, life continued. In the command center, Commander J stood with his hands resting on the table. The tension had left the room, but not the weight. Officers moved more slowly now. Some leaned back. Others stared at screens that showed comm space. Hannah checked final reports. "All human fleets have returned to silent patrol," she said. "No hostile activity detected anywhere near Earth." Captain Day nodded. "Survivor ships have exited the system. They will not be returning." Sue looked up from her console. "Civilian networks are reopening. Shelters are being lifted. Most people believe the threat passed quietly." Jay looked at the screen showing Earth. Blue and peaceful. "That is how it should be," he said. Mira stood nearby, her arms crossed. "The galaxy will not forget this." Jay turned to her. "They shouldn't." Across the galaxy, messages spread. Worlds that once paid tribute to the Empire stopped. Fleets that once marched under its banner stood down. Old enemies stopped fighting, unsure of what the future held. Many asked the same question. Who are the humans? On the Galactic Council world, the Elder called for a final record. "Prepare a broadcast," he said, "to all known systems." An advisor hesitated. "What should we say?" The Elder closed his eyes for a moment. "Say the truth." The broadcast went out. It showed the empty battle space, the missing fleet, the timestamp, 14 minutes. Across countless worlds, beings watched in silence. On Earth, Hannah received a signal request. "Commander," she said, "the Council is asking for a response. A statement from humanity." Jay did not reply at once. He walked slowly across the room. He thought of Earth's past, of wars fought out of fear, of mistakes made when power came before wisdom. He stopped beside Day. "What do you think?" Day answered honestly. "If we stay silent, they will fear us forever. If we speak, they might understand." Jay nodded. "Prepare a message." Hannah hesitated. "What should it say?" Jay spoke calmly. "Keep it simple." The message was sent. Across the galaxy, screens lit up. A human appeared. Not in armor. Not in uniform. Just standing, calm and steady. "This is Earth," the message began. "We did not seek war." The voice was clear. "We stayed quiet because we wished to be left alone. We built defenses because history taught us to be ready." The image shifted to the empty space where the Empire fleet once was. "You came with weapons. You came with threats. We answered." The voice paused. "We will not chase you. We will not rule you. But if you bring war to our home again, this will happen again." The message ended. No threats. No pride. Just fact. On the Council world, the chamber remained silent long after the transmission ended. A council member finally spoke. "They could have destroyed us all." The Elder nodded. "Yes, and they chose not to." That makes them more dangerous, another whispered. No, the elder replied. It makes them different. On Earth, the command center began to power down. Systems returned to long-term watch. The moment had passed. Mira sat down slowly. Is it really over? She asked. Jay looked at her. For now. Hannah smiled faintly. 14 minutes. Day shook his head. The galaxy will talk about that number forever. Jay allowed a small smile. Then they will remember why it happened. Above Earth, human warships faded back into darkness. Some returned to deep space. Others settled into quiet orbits. They did not display power. They simply watched. On distant worlds, new rules formed. Do not threaten Earth. Do not test humans. Respect silence. The galaxy changed course. Trade routes reopened, but more carefully. Diplomats spoke more slowly. Fleets stayed farther from neutral space. And whenever a young officer asked why the Empire no longer ruled, an older one answered the same way. Because they thought humans were weak. On Earth, the sun rose over cities untouched by war. People went to work. Children went to school. Life moved on. Deep below, in the command center, Jay stood alone for a moment. He looked at the stars on the screen. We survived, he said quietly. The stars did not answer. But across the galaxy, every world had learned the same lesson. Humans do not shout. Humans do not rush. But when pushed, they end wars before others even understand they have begun.